All right, Shalom. It's another GMS on the go. GMS North Carolina camp. We're just going to come back at you with another lesson. Before we get into that, we're going to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honor to our apostles and elders, Great Millstone, who rule well and who taught us 100% truth of the Bible. And peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and diligence and sincerity. And we're just going to jump right into this lesson on fearing the Lord. And we're just going to get right into it. This is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
And that's right. The fear of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah, you see, doing their will, you see, doing their desire, being obedient, keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible, you see, all that equals the beginning of knowledge. You see, so if you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans desire the beginning of knowledge and the understanding of these scriptures, it first starts with you what? Fearing Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, who's so-called black man. You see, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, you see, and Yahweh Shah being the only begotten Son. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah are the powers that you're supposed to be fearing. You see, because fearing them is going to lead up to you getting the beginning of knowledge and understanding of these scriptures.
That's right. From the top, this is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Right. It said, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. You see, and when you look into that word fool, it means meatball, blockhead, imbecile, jackass, dunce. You see, the list goes on and on. You see, and that's 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans. You see, 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino, and Americans, y'all are fools. Why? Because y'all despise, y'all hate wisdom and instruction. You see, because y'all hate that y'all can't go about establishing your own way. You see, y'all hate that y'all can't be wise in y'all own eyes, which isn't good. You see, y'all hate that y'all can't go contrary to the scriptures on what Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah told us not to do. Such as eating shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, which is giving you high blood pressure, diabetes, and gout. You see, and so forth on. You see, y'all hate that y'all can't indulge in sodomy, man with man and woman with woman. Y'all hate that y'all can't commit adultery, sleep with the next man's wife, vice versa. You see, y'all hate that y'all can't mar your beards and make baldness upon your head. You see, y'all hate that y'all can't follow the ways of these heathen nations. You see, and it's awesome because what? 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans don't fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. You see, because if you fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah, you would be being obedient. You would be keeping the laws, statutes, commandments to the Bible to the best of your ability. You see, and that's why 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans don't have the beginning of knowledge according to the scriptures because you don't fear. So if you so-called Negroes, Latin Americans want the beginning of knowledge according to the scriptures and the understanding of it, fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah. You see, which is wisdom, keeping the laws, statutes, commandments to the Bible to the best of your ability.
That's right. And this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
You want it or you want me to break it down?
Oh, no. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. Right. So if you sincerely fear Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, you're not going to disobey their word. And where's their word? The 1611 King James Bible and all the laws, statutes, and commandments that come with it. So, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's right.
And they that love him will keep his ways.
That's right.
And we're going to get, according to scriptures, what is love.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody say they love the Lord, but what does it mean according to the Bible?
Mm-hmm. This is St. John, chapter 14, verse 15. And this is written in red. You see, this is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus speaking, whose real name is Yahweh Shah, who's so-called black man. Again, this is St. John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
Right. If you love the Most High, if you love Lord Yahweh Shah, you're going to keep the commandments, the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible. You're going to do whatever is so pleasing to the Most High.
Because that's how you show them that you love them.
Right.
By keeping their commandments.
And was it on that?
Yeah, go ahead and go back to that.
Yep. And this is Sirach chapter 2, verse 15, the latter end. And they that love him will keep all his ways. And that's it on that.
Right. So again, all the ones of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans who love Yahweh Shema Shah, you're going to keep his ways. You see? You're going to keep his commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability. You see, because by you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability, you see, being obedient, doing Yahweh Shema Shah's own desire, that ultimately shows that what? You fear them.
That's right. This is Sirach chapter 1, verse 8. There is one wise and greatly to be feared.
Right. There is one wise and greatly to be feared. And who is that? Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, Yahweh Shema Shah, who the world ignorantly calls God and Jesus, who so-called black men, they are greatly to be feared. You see, because Yahweh Shema Shah, they're the only power on that's making things happen on the face of the earth. You see, they're the ones that's bringing the storms. You see the tempests. You see these different all these different calamities on the face of the earth. It's Yahweh Shema Shah that's doing all that. You see, so they're greatly to be feared among all these false gods who are no gods.
The Lord sitting upon his throne.
Right. Yahweh Shema Shah sitting upon their throne.
Yep. This is Sirach chapter 1, verse 20. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord. Right. The root of wisdom. And what is that word root going to? It goes into the beginning or the foundation or something. So the foundation, a strong foundation of wisdom is to fear the Most High. So if you want to consider yourself to be wise, if you want it to be, backed up on something, it's going to be backed up with the fear of the Lord. And the branches thereof are long life. Right. So like with any good healthy tree springs forth many branches. If you start off with fearing the Most High, you're going therefore you're going to spring forth long life. You're going to live long, as the scriptures say in Proverbs
10 to 27.
Yep, like it says in Proverbs 10 to 27. Let me just get it.
And like just laying back off of the brother, because this lesson's all about fear. You see, you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you're going to learn to fear Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, one way or another. You see, whether you're fearing him right now or whether you're going to fear him when Yahweh Shema Shah turns up the heat and start bringing all these different plagues and calamities upon the face of the earth. But one way or another, you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you will fear Yahweh Shema Shah, the one and only living true power.
That's right. And this is Proverbs chapter 10, verse 27. The fear of the Lord prolongeth days.
Right, so the fear of Yahweh Shema Shah, which is wisdom, keeping the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability, that's what's getting your days prolonged on the face of the earth. You see, to where you're living a long and healthy life. You see, to where you got gray hairs popping out your head. You see, and so forth on. You see, so if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans want your years, you see, your days to be prolonged on the face of the earth to live that long and healthy life, it starts with what? Fearing Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, which is wisdom. Keeping them laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability.
That's right. But the years of the wicked shall be shortened.
Right, but the years of the wicked, of 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, y'all years on the face of the earth are going to be shortened. You see, and y'all years on the face of the earth are being shortened. Why? Because y'all not fearing Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, because y'all not doing their will. You see, y'all are not doing their desire, which is keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible. You see, y'all too busy about going about doing your own thing, which is getting you put to death. You see? So if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans don't want your years to be shortened on the face of the earth, and you want your years to be prolonged, to live that long and healthy life, what do you need to do? Fear Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, which is wisdom according to the scriptures. Keeping them commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability.
That's right. And going back, this is Sirach chapter 1, verse 21. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins.
Right. The fear of Yahweh Shema Shah, which is wisdom, according to the scriptures, that's what's driving away sins. And real quick, the brother's about to get what sin is according to the scriptures. You see, because you got a lot of people who still don't know what sin is, so we're going to prove what sin is.
This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Right, and that whosoever is referring to you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans. You see, so if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans are committing sin, then that means what? That means you're transgressing the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. That means you're going contrary to the scriptures. You see? So again, that's what sin is. Sin is transgressing the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. So go ahead and go back.
This is Sirach chapter 1, verse 21. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins.
Right, so the fear of Yahweh Shema Shah, again, which is wisdom according to the scriptures, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability. You see, that's what's driving away sins from transgressing the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. You see, because you can't sin and transgress the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible if you're fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, doing their will. You see, you're either going to be fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, doing their will, or you're going to be sinning, transgressing the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. You see, but you can't do both at the same time.
That's right. And where it is present, it turneth away wrath.
Right, and where the fear of Yahweh Shema Shah is present, it turns away wrath. You see, so if you're fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, they're going to take that wrath, you see, and they're going to turn it from you, and they're going to turn it to 2/3 of Israel who are not fearing them, you see, who are not keeping their sayings according to the Bible, you see, and they're going to bring that wrath, that judgment upon them. You see, and they're going to put 2/3 of the nation of Israel to death from not being obedient according to the scriptures.
That's right. This is Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Going back to Proverbs 1:7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. You see, so again, if you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans desire the beginning of wisdom and the understanding of these scriptures, what do you need to do? You need to fear Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, keep the commandments of the Bible to the best of your ability. You see, because that's wisdom.
That's right. And the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
Right, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And when you look into that word holy, it means separate. You see, so the separate is going to have understanding of the knowledge according to the scriptures on what to do and what not to do according to the scriptures. You see, the separate is going to be coming, thus says the Lord, thus says the Holy Bible at all times.
That's right. And this is Job chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom.
You want it?
Right. And unto man he said, and that man is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American men, not just any man on the planet. Behold, which means to look. The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And to depart from evil is understanding right. The fear of the Lord, that is wisdom. And what is wisdom? Wisdom is this knowledge, knowledge and understanding of this King James Bible. And also that definition of wisdom goes into the application of that knowledge and understanding, like through experience and life. You know, once you build up that knowledge and understanding and you actually apply it to what the scriptures are saying, to depart from evil. Once you know to stop smoking weed, Black and Milds, cigarettes, stop sleeping with the next man's wife, getting tattoos, marring your beards, getting edge-ups, you know, making baldness upon your head, and so forth on. Once you start applying that to your life, that's showing the Lord, the Heavenly Father, that you fear Him, and that's the beginning of wisdom.
That's right. Get that Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. You know, we'll just close out on that.
Yep, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Mm-hmm. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Mm-hmm. Fear the Most High and keep His commandments. Mm-hmm. For this is the whole duty of man.
Right, so the whole duty of you Israelite men, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, while you're on the face of the earth, while you got breath in your body, while you're still living, is to do what? It's to fear Yahweh Shema Shah and keep their commandments. You see, because by you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, the one and only living true power, the creators of the heavens and the earth. You see, the only power that's been here from the beginning and the only power that's going to be here to the end. You see, the only power that's making things happen, you see, and shake on the face of the earth. You see, by you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah in truth and sincerity, if that fear is really in you, then what? It's going to lead up to you doing what? Keeping Yahweh Shema Shah's commandments. You see, being obedient, doing their will. You see, because keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Bible shows Yahweh Shema Shah that you fear them. You see? And that's the whole duty of you Israelite men, so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, to fear Yahweh Shemashah and keep their commandments. You see? So it's all about you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans fearing your power. You see? You're not supposed to be fearing Esau, the so-called white man, or any of these other nations on the face of the earth. You see, you're not supposed to be fearing none of these false gods who are no gods. You know that 2/3 of the nation of Israel be on worshiping. You know, such as Serapis, Allah, Buddha, the Hindu god of Shiva, Santa Maria, Haile Selassie, and so forth on. You're not supposed to fear none of these false gods who are no gods. You see, because they're just idols. You see, they're just taking up space. They're just taking up room. They're not real. You see, so you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, you need to be fearing Yahweh Shemashah, again, the one and only living true power. Because Yahweh Shemashah is the one that's making things happen on the face of the earth.
That's right.
So with that, I hope you've been edified. It's been another GMS on the go. This is the Raleigh, North Carolina camp. Before we go any further, we'd like to give all honor, all glory, and all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kodash. Next up, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from teaching us this truth according to the Bible and rule well. And a double shalom to all the sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth from righteousness and sincerity to the best ability. Till next time, shalom.
Shalom.